Hey family, hey. First let's start with, it is hot, but we need to start potting up some of the stuff. So I have my early Jersey cabbages. I'm going to pot them up because they're on their true leaves now. You see, it's 3 leaves, so they're ready now to start getting potted up. If you see that, you see the roots are starting to come out through the bottom. Now I do have a lot more, but I figured I'll bring you guys with me so we can do the potting up. I'm using my Happy Frog potting soil. What I was doing is, first of all, let's say this. We don't have to be fancy when you're starting to, look what I'm using. I'm using just my foam cups. All I'm doing is filling them up. I did put some slits on the side of them. I put 3 slits. And what I did was, I did it like, what I've noticed, a lot of the pots, a lot of the cups, let me show you what I mean. They're coming with these little slits. So what I've done is I made the cups the same way, where it got the little slits. So if roots want to get out, they can, and they won't get stuck and start to what do you call it, get root bound. And when they get root bound, what it does is, because the roots, once they hit the bottom, they have no further to go, so then they start wrapping itself back around its soil and back into itself. So with giving it these slits, the roots will come out here out of the little slits. I think they call that like air, no, that's not air prudent, that's air something. But basically, the roots won't have to get root bound. What I'm also doing is, in here I have water. So even though the soil is warm, and the soil is warm because it's been outside, so that actually helps with the adjustment from potting up, from going to, my opinion, it helps from going to one set of plants to potting up into here, because it's not really like, those been outside in the sun, the soil been out in the sun, so everything is still a warm temperature. So I feel like it doesn't have to really get too much adjusted. And I'm gonna make sure that the starts, when they getting in, they're gonna be nice and moist, because we did get rain, a little bit of rain, I want to say, the other night, and again the soil's outside, so it already was a little moist, but you see the water is in there. So as I'm putting it back in there, they're also able to suck up some moisture. And then when I put it in there, now I did fertilize my starts. I want to say today is, what is today? Today's Thursday, so I want to say I gave it some fish fertilizer is what I'm giving it right now, since they're just babies, and it's high in only nitrogen. And because these are brassicas, it don't need a high NPK, it just really need nitrogen for the most part, honestly. Now I will sometimes give it a mix up, but of maybe 10-10-10 or something, but it really doesn't need anything, because it pretty much is just growing the foliage for the most part. And that's what you want to stay strong with the nitrogen. Now, in my cups, there's 6 to a tray. So I'm gonna have, I'm short a little bit. The cups flew down because I had the fan on, and the fan was fairly loud. So I turned it off, which is why your girl is in here just busting sweats, because right now it's 98 in the greenhouse. I had my boy working on some stuff in my she shed, because I know it's starting soon. Before we know it, it's going to be cold, it's going to be cooler, and I'm going to want to be doing things in the she shed. So we had started clearing it out a little bit. So he was working on that, because definitely I would have rather been in my she shed than to be out here in the greenhouse where it's pretty much 100 degrees. So, all right, so cool. that's that. Now this one over here I had already potted up. That actually I had potted up for other seedlings that I actually had seeds in here. They never came up, so I'm just repurposing that soil, and when I pot in there I'll probably just add extra soil to fill it all the way up. I'm going to make this whole container right here the early Jersey cabbage, so I don't have to worry about, well, oh wait, hold on, wait a minute. We're doing early Jersey cabbage, and then we're going to do broccoli in this one. I'm glad I looked at that, because I would have mixed that up. So we're doing early Jersey cabbage, these 6, and then I had the broccoli came from my hydroponics, so I'm gonna put that in here also. Again, these are cool because you push them up through the bottom and then they pop right on out, but I try to be really careful because my finger got stuck. But hold on, I did just fertilize it, so the soil is nice and wet. But do y'all see the roots hanging out? I'm just literally going to open it up and place it in there. And another reason why I made sure it wasn't too compact, because I can always add soil on top once I get it all situated and make sure it's the way I want it to. There we go, nice and good. So yeah, they're very, very wet because I had them in the my little side greenhouse, and it gets really, really hot in there, so I do keep water on the bottom for them to make sure they don't dry out. So now they should be good, and because we've had such hot weather lately, I didn't want them to dry out real bad. I think I overwatered them the other day, so I'm not going to, let's swap out a little bit. I'm not going to keep them too moist because that soil is very moist and it has fertilizer in it, because remember I said I had fertilized them the other day. So I definitely, the soil itself is fine, it's not dry, so I don't have to get it as soaked as I thought I needed it. So we're gonna do this. Yeah, there we go. Whew. And we're gonna go ahead and put that back in. So this way, you want to keep it moist, but you don't want it to be so wet that basically what it do is it'll mess up your plant, where it'll kill it, because the stalk itself will get so wet that it'll basically rot out. I think they call that dampening off, where it'll be too wet. But so far so good, because again, it is so hot outside that it just needs to be wet enough to not dry out. That's all I'm doing. And like I said, the soil is nice and wet on both ends, so it shouldn't have to go through any shock. Y'all see how it's just falling apart literally because it's wet. That's okay. I'm just gonna make a nice little hole for it, put it back in there nice and gentle, and then backfill it. It'll be fine. And if it isn't, I do have others. So, and for me, I think that's another good reason to do things like, don't wait to the last moment to do something, because if there's something to where something dies or you miss the timing on something, where you forget to pot it up, or it gets too hot and it dries out, I don't wait till the last moment. So if something were to happen, I still have time to you know, get some in. It is hot out here, y'all. It is so hot out here. And the worst part about it being hot out here, I'll be honest with you, is I'm sweating and I can't touch my face. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I had to go wipe my face I was drenched. And I have water. But it is really, really hot. And for some reason, only 2 of the fans I have in here is on. I need to turn that third one on. Oh, you know what? Oh, let me, wait a minute. I forgot about this one. I can use this one. Woo! We need some air. All right. I should be good now. Hold on. Oh, I thought that was a bug. I was about to die. Okay, I was about to be upset, like, what's wrong with my fan? Why is it not working? I think one of my chickens might be trying to have it make an egg. Lay an egg, not make an egg. Okay. Nope, not it. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so we got 2 more of the early Jersey cabbage, and then we're gonna do the broccoli. And now that I see how wet these are, when I go back to where I got the rest of these potted up at, I'm going to probably just go ahead and make sure I drain the water off of the rest of them, because even with it being so hot outside, these are still very, very wet. A little too wet, more than I would like. Just a little more than what I would like. But the roots on these are really, really good. Can y'all see all the roots? They're not nice and healthy roots. All the white little roots. My other thing is, I want to do enough cabbage and broccoli. Now broccoli I want to do to have plenty to be able to start freezing some. Cabbage I want to do as succession, because right now it's 6 cabbages. I think I have some more, but my thing is this: I can't eat 6 cabbages at one time, so if they all get ready at one time, I'm gonna most likely give them away. My family probably, we do 2 cabbages at a time. So if 2 is ready at the same time, that's cool. But if they're all ready at the same time, I'm gonna most likely be giving them away. Now broccoli, if you haven't grown broccoli before, you get 1 large head. I think a lot of that also depends on the variety that you purchase. Mine is gonna be 1 large head, and then it probably give you the side shoots, right? I want the large heads more than the side shoots. So what I'm thinking is I want to do maybe 6 to 12 broccolis, and then as they're doing what they need to do, pot out some more for another harvest and another harvest. Because depending on how big the head is, even if you cut it in half, that might only feed a family of 2 or maybe 3, depending on, you know, what they eat. We do like broccoli. I do chicken and broccoli. I do Alfredo. We just do regular, like, broccoli with cheese. So we eat a lot of broccoli. And y'all know, if I can grow it instead of buying it, I'm gonna definitely try to grow it. So that's been my thing lately. My onions, I did get a different variety of onions this year. I also, in a pot down here, the onions that I grew last year for this last season, I collected the seeds. So I am hoping that they germinate, because that'd be pretty cool, because the collard greens is going to be my collard greens this year, so that's exciting. I'm very excited about that. So a couple of the watermelons that I grew was my watermelons, so I was excited about that. So if you could grow stuff and collect your own seeds, wow, to me that's major, because one, you're saving money, because now you don't have to buy seeds, and now you probably get a better harvest, because from what I've seen so far, you get a better harvest because that fruit and or vegetable is now acclimated to that soil, to your soil. So look at that, y'all. Now these will be in here. The next step for these will be in the ground. So we got our broccoli, 3 broccolis, and we got our early Jersey cabbage on these. I do have one more broccoli. I'm gonna just put it, I have another cup over here on the side that I'm gonna put them in, because I think that's all the broccoli so far. I think I got more potted up or coming up. I told y'all the cups had failed. So the next I'm gonna do is, now the cauliflower, I've never grown cauliflower. I do actually like cauliflower. Now, is it one of the best things on my, like, oh, I love me? No. But I do like a good mixed vegetable with cauliflower, carrots, broccoli, and stuff like that. And guess what? Out of all of that, the only thing is missing is the cauliflower, because I have grown my own broccoli. I do have my own carrots already in the freezer. And I definitely think cauliflower is okay, especially if you season it up right. If you season it up right, I feel like it's pretty good. So now we have 3, 6, 9 of these, and I have, so let me say this also, I have the purple cauliflower and the regular white cauliflower, but I wanted to go ahead and start potting up the purple. I'm just trying to do it to not make a mess. Hold on, let me see, because we can't afford to drop nothing. All right, cool. All right, cool. And this table is not as sturdy, so I'm trying to, I don't care about the water spill. This soil was already dried out, so this being soaked a little bit actually is fine, because this was very much so dry. Like I said, I had planted some seedlings in here and they did not come up. I put seeds in here, not seedlings, seeds in here, and they didn't come up at all. I don't know if it was just too hot or whatever, but over here we repurpose soil. All right, are y'all starting to what are y'all doing? Are y'all starting your fall stuff? Have y'all started, are you guys potting up, or are you guys straight putting it in straight in bed and ground, or are you potting up, or you just whatever, once you plant it, that's it, in the small cells? Are y'all using it, going to pot up into bigger cells? I mean, what we got, maybe another month, August, before we really start getting to cooler temperatures. I'm saying that I'm in Georgia, so about September we should start getting a little cooler. So in your zone or where you're at, when does it start getting cooler? Or has it already? I don't know, depending on where you're at, right? I know some places it's not even as hot as we are. Some places getting a whole lot of rain. Some places are not getting any rain and they need the rain. We definitely at one point was getting a whole lot of rain, and then now we're back dry. So it's been hot, y'all. I can say that much. And I am one to say I enjoy the heat for the most part. I'm okay with it, but not when you're trying to work in it. I'm okay if you're just trying to be cute and chill out, but not when you're actually trying to get jobs done in the yard. It's too hot. I'm out there probably about 20 minutes and I'm like, sheesh. So, all right. These look like it did a little better with staying together. But now these cups are a lot bigger just as well. These trays that I'm using here, they're a lot bigger. So again, I've never grown purple cauliflower, but I also think it'd be pretty cool. I do eat it though, because I know we just had a whole conversation, me, Broke, and Chat. We were all talking about how a lot of us grow. I messed up a little bit on that root. It didn't come all the way out. That's the only thing about, I got little chubby fingers, so sometimes I got to be careful. See, because it's wet and the roots started trying to vine down. The roots are getting caught up in some of the soil. So I also need to be careful with that, because when I'm trying to pull it out, the roots are coming out the bottom, so they're holding on a little bit onto the bottom down here. And I actually, I got something. All right, so I need something just to poke it all the way through. Oop. Okay, not the best idea. Okay, but we got it out, sort of, kinda. All right, so okay, that is what I'm doing today though, y'all. I'm just potting up. I know a lot of people do potting up differently. That's why I'm asking, like, I probably could have left these in here longer, but I don't want it to get so entwined. I want a good rootstock. And what I mean by that is I want these to get large enough and big enough that when I put it in the garden, I don't want them little bugs to be able to just tear it right apart because they're not strong enough. And for me, that's what I prefer. I'd rather them have a strong root system. So even if the roly-polies and the beetles or whatever start messing with it, it's not going to die right away because it's a weak plant. I want it to be able to get as strong as possible. While I got time to baby it a little bit, I want it to get as strong as possible. And then this one, when I put it out, they have a better chance at survival. And when I mean survival, literally from the bugs. So I feel like if I can get them good enough to be strong enough, I'll get a good harvest, and I'll get an early harvest because they're not having to fight just to grow. They're going to be a nice size already. So my growing point will be like just better, I guess. So I'm thinking about that tall with a nice root system will do me just. And I gotta figure out what beds everything is going to go to. Right now I still have a lot of everything. I'll be honest with you. I still have tomatoes, I still have cucumbers. I actually have harvested some cucumbers today. I think I harvested 6 cucumbers today. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about cucumbers, baby. They hanging down on a cucumber vine. So I cut those down, which all of that does is give the other cucumbers that's coming behind it, now they're ready to go. So again, nice. That one came out pretty decent. So just like the other one, this one is short on 3, and I do got 3 cups down there. So Okay. Well, that is all I am going to do today. I appreciate y'all coming. Whew. Please like, subscribe, and share. We have our early cabbage, and we have our purple cauliflower potted up, and we are ready to get these going. I'm going to put them back in the other greenhouse. It's the little greenhouse, and let them now do what they need to do, because they will get no more. The only thing now I will be doing is making sure that they get fertilized when it's time. And like I said, right now they do not need to be fertilized. So we're all set. So until next time, please like, subscribe, and share. Bye.